took place, and just wanted to mention that to start off today. Let's do the weather before we get to our guest, Ed Sutka, who is waiting on the line. So, our weather, it is currently, by the way, it is currently 7:13 a.m. In the morning here on the East Coast of the United States, in Massachusetts, in Taunton. I say this because currently in Azerbaijan it is 3:13 p.m. Why do I say this? Well, this morning, if you turn on ESPN, Formula One is racing once again. They are in Azerbaijan this weekend, and that race is actually underway now. So just wanted to mention that. But moving on from that, we have our weather. In Taunton, it is 52 degrees. Cloudy skies, a high of 59 today. Rain in the forecast this morning. It is scheduled to move out. It was raining a little bit this morning, sprinkles, but it is scheduled to move out. Tomorrow, 63 degrees, sunny skies in Taunton. In Middleboro, we have 53 degrees, same weather today. Rain that is scheduled to move out of the area. It certainly looks like, I looked at the weather, the radar this morning, and it looks like that rain is moving out to sea. Looks like we have no other rain in the area, which is a good thing. It is raining near New York, Massachusetts border, but that rain is moving up to Canada, so that is not going to affect us, it seems like, at the moment. Driscoll, Texas, 55 degrees, nice and sunny today. 90 for the high today, so pretty warm. 90 tomorrow in Driscoll, Texas as well. Pretty sunny temperatures in Texas. And 31 degrees in Driscoll, North Dakota. A high of 52 today. Sunny skies throughout the week. No rain in the forecast at all. And some really great temperatures in Driscoll, North Dakota this week. All right, it is 7:16. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our first commercial break. And when we come back, we are going to talk with Ed Sutka. He's got a lot of great things planned. Ed, you got a lot of great stuff planned for us today. Give us a little bit of a preview.
I have a poem, which I don't think I've read this poem to an audience before. I think this would be the premiere performance.
All right, so we're going to be doing that when we return. I'm Joey Driscoll. I'm joined by
Don Driscoll. And
we're joined by Ed Sutka via the phones for today's program. And we're going to be right back here on Middleboro in Review on 1530 AM, 99.7 FM. And we will be right back here on Middleboro in Review for the 30th of April, 2023. Those.
The first one's from the top there.
Oh, okay.
The first one.
Yeah.
WVBF is your hometown radio station. And one of the things we like to do to support people
Nothing I can do about that.
in your hometown
Try to.
is to run community announcements. If you do belong to a non-profit group or organization, or if you're an official with a city or town government, send your community announcements along to our
That's in that text that has the name from.
It's safe, it's fast, and allows us to get right back to you.
Alright.
That's what we know.
Yep.
Send your community announcements to WBBF1530@hotmail.com. That's WBBF1530@hotmail.com.
Get him on M3 player so you don't have to deal with this
That's
10
whatever.
seconds before you go on the air.
Yeah, that's whatever.
WBBF.
Nothing I can do about that.
FM.
I don't even know why I played this. I didn't need to put this one, but I needed a 1-minute commercial.
Splash Street Auto Body, located at 48 Splash Street in Boston,
152.
Massachusetts, offers the highest quality collision repair and complete auto service for your car. They are a direct repair shop for all major insurance companies. You should reach them at 508-583-1495. They're open Monday through Thursday, 8 to 5, and 8 to 4 on Fridays. Call them today. You will not be disappointed. 508-583-1495.
Combat Veteran Motorcycle Association is an association of combat veterans from all branches of the United States Armed Forces who ride motorcycles as a hobby. Our mission is to support those who have defended our country and freedoms. Our focus is to help veteran care facilities provide a warm meal, clothing, shelter, and guidance, or simply to say thank you and welcome home. We have members from nearly all 50 states and living abroad. Many members continue to serve in our armed forces, with several serving in combat areas now. We sponsor and or participate in many motorcycle-related charity events each year, and as a nonprofit organization, donate to various veteran care facilities and veteran charities. To learn more about the Combat Veteran Motorcycle Association and how you can join or support, please visit cvma2-2.org.
Alright, we got 1 minute ad.
Okay.
Medicare Moment with Martha. Each week, we present the latest information on health, legal, and lifestyle issues that affect you and your family. It's fascinating, fast-paced, and fun as we explore all aspects of the Medicare maze. So join me for a Medicare Moment with Martha, Saturday mornings at 8 and Sunday mornings at 9 on AM 1530 and 99.7 FM, WVBF, your hometown radio station.
Hi, this is Jim Larkin. Hope you can join me every Sunday from noon to 2 o'clock here on WBBF, the sounds of the Emerald Isle. We'll have some great Irish music, some folk, traditional, country, and contemporary, and sometimes some live singers in the studio. And to make you laugh, some Irish comedy. That's Sundays from noon to 2 right here on WBBF, 1530 Taunton, Middleboro, and on the internet at hometowntalkradio.com.
Alright, here we go. No, come on. There you go. Mike. Mike. And we're back here. So I turn the music down. There we go. And we are back here on Middleboro in review, and we are joined by our guest today, Ed Sutka. Good morning, Ed.
You ready for poetry?
Yes. So what is the name of the poem that you'll be reading to us this morning?
Well, it has a very provocative name. It's called Agents of Obliteration. But if I read the poem and everyone listens to what I'm reading, everyone will understand it.
Okay. So we are gonna flip over to Ed, and he's gonna read this poem.
Right, Agents of Obliteration. It's getting harder to confess that we'll need humans less and less. we may find this new arrangement convenient, the rulers certainly find it expedient. Artificial intelligence helps us to avoid error, but does such a thought fill you with terror? The pain of this transition will be marked with fantasies and drugs. Isn't that a nice way to pull the plug? The people will gladly vote for such an ending. After all, isn't it the way we're inevitably tending? Those who remain will embrace their slavery and obliterate any vestige of a thing called bravery.
That's awesome.
That's a good one. That's a really good one, man.
Thank you.
That's a good one. I have an idea what you're talking about on that. It's to you. What's you know what I mean? You read it and it's kind of obvious what you mean, but what inspired you to write that?
Well, there was a catalyst. I mean, I'm interested in the topic generally, but there was a catalyst that really made it real for me. I was in calling CVS, and I don't know if you've dealt with CVS's call line, but it is artificial intelligence. And what I have noticed lately is that the call line is starting to tell me what to do. It's not serving me, it's telling me. I'm expected to do what it tells me to do. You may go to the next item now, and that sort of thing. So I think if it's gone that far with this social experiment, I think that's the time to try to understand it a little bit better.
Yeah, and the artificial intelligence deal, it definitely is. It's getting more important, and it's getting more out there in the news. There's been a lot of talk about artificial intelligence in music. Over the past couple of weeks, there's been a lot of talk about that, and I think it's definitely something to talk about and to get out there is the artificial intelligence side of things and how that's how that's starting to affect our everyday lives.
It's same with the text messages too. I know what you're talking about, a particular drugstore, because I have them, and you start out by the convenience of a reminder for your medication, which is fine. But then they're telling you that you should get this, you should get that. We need a new update. I mean, they have my information.
Yeah.
They don't need a
new.
new.
And it's not just
Right.
any one particular pharmacy. They all seem to be going down, or nearly all seem to be going down the same road.
Right. And I see what you're talking about. Just looking at I'm looking at my text messages now from that particular place, and and it's just it's good that they remind you to go get your medicine or whatnot. But I mean, it's almost to the point where they're texting you every day. It's almost like
Oh yeah, it's a true bombardment.
Yes. I mean, and like I said, if you just keep telling people the certain thing over and over and over, at a certain point you'll be programmed to it. You'll be programmed to it, and that's, I think, the way things are going. And you also mentioned in your poem about how you don't need humans anymore to do tasks. Well, you're talking about the self-driving cars, and I drive a truck. We've been doing that for 35 years, and all of a sudden you gotta have a computer drive my truck, which I don't think in my lifetime it's gonna happen. Not in a safe manner. Not the work I do, but I can kind of see that. I can see that rolling down in about 10 years. Anyway, on these interstate trucks for sure.
Yeah, and the idea that humans are becoming unnecessary, it's a shocking, frightening idea to the extent that people don't even want to deal with that.
Right. And once it's taken away, once all the gadgets are there for you, and then you maybe want to change your mind and do something, well, it's too late. You can't. It's already programmed in that it's not efficient.
And I think the alternative vision would be people motivated by the feeling of community and everyone is helping everyone else. But we're losing that very rapidly in most cases.
Yeah, there was an album by Black Sabbath in 1992 called Dehumanizer, and there was a song called Computer God, which they wrote that in 92, and anybody listening to the lyrics on that song knows that it's kind of what you're talking about in your poem. It's about how the machines are going to wake up and tell us what to do, give us, they're more like the maiden mother in a way, the machines, not your family members, not your own destination in life. No, not your family members, but listen to the computer, listen to whatever the text tells you. Go do it blindly. It's like the same with GPS. GPSs are great, but some people blindly drive into Fool's Ditch with a GPS. I know a couple people who followed GPS right into oblivion, right into a puddle. Okay, this is just another example where, and these people are intelligent people, but they just follow the GPS, and there's a ditch in Wareham, which is a cut through between Plymouth and Wareham on Glen Charlie Road. They call it Fool's Ditch, and I know somebody who just drove in there and just beached their vehicle, and then when they called the tow truck, yeah, we know where you are. Tell us. Because people call all the time. It's the GPS sends you that way, and you blindly fall, and you think it's fine. You see a puddle, but you got to drive through it because how can the GPS lie to you? It's the same deal as with low clearance bridges. It's just driving. It kind of takes your sense of way and your common sense away because the computer's telling you. How can the computer be lying to me? But people found out with the Fool's Ditch and the GPS that the puddle swallowed up the vehicles, and they've ruined it. They're junk now. But that's just another perfect example, I think.
Well, people should open their eyes and their ears a little bit wider when these things happen and try to process what's going on here. Because at a certain point, it'll be very hard to turn back.
Well, I feel, in my opinion, that they always get greedy. They always push, and they try to push more and more instead of little at a time and just kind of taking you over little at a time. They kind of push, and at a certain point, you just don't deal with it anymore because a lot of, I really don't answer any questions anymore. I don't answer questions about nothing. They look like, hey, they want your phone number when you buy it. I'm saying, paying cash. Why am I giving you my phone number? I mean, why am I giving you?
Well, that's the biggest scam of all. When you're asked for personal information that there's no need for other people to have.
Right.
And often you get these scam calls, and they seem to be asking to get you to buy a product, but what they really want is your personal information.
Right. No, that's money right there. They'll sell you, it's big money selling your personal information. Perfect example. I don't give my email address out anymore. I'm getting bombarded with emails from these companies and it's a chore now to erase all those emails. I have to do it on a daily basis, and they're not going away. So now I'm real particular who I give my email to. I don't give it to anybody who wants my email, buying a pot or a pan or going to a certain store. I'm not giving it to them because you're going to get bombarded with emails. And now today, I'm a slave to erasing these emails. I have to do it every day. It's something I have to do. I can't not forget because then I'll have 5,000 emails to erase, and that's kind of a chore now. Because I gave my email. And I didn't give it to a lot of people, but it's the same companies. And what kind of process? Now it's a big process to get them to stop. Will they stop? You don't know. And who has time for that? So I guess I'm a slave to my phone as far as deleting those emails. Because I don't care about them. I don't want nothing with the emails. If I give my email address, it's something personal. It's, it's something through like my USDOT number for my trucks or my insurance companies or something, it's business. It's business I have to do, but not trying to solicit more stuff. I don't care. I remember these places. Believe me, I drive by them all the time, and it's just, I don't need to be bombarded with it.
And
and calling it programming is very kind, because it's much darker than that. But it is definitely a kind of programming going on.
yeah, and with these emails and with all the companies that are sending you these emails, you again once you unsubscribe, you don't know if they're going to stop. You know, a lot of these companies don't. A lot of these companies continue to flood your emails with spam, and really, a lot of people's emails just become public domain, and their information gets sold to people who just flood your email with spam, and
Right.
that's a huge thing nowadays.
Yeah, so that's a good point. And that could you I know you read it, but can you read it again? It was just so cool.
Sure.
That would be awesome.
There's some static on the line at the moment.
Yeah, I think that's it's been off and on. We're working on that, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, shall we give it a try?
Sure. One more time. That was a great. It was it was short and sweet. Less is more, in my opinion. It's awesome.
Less is more, yes. All right. Agents of obliteration. It's getting easier to confess that we'll need humans less and less. We may find this new arrangement convenient, and the rulers certainly find it expedient. Artificial intelligence helps us avoid error. But does such a thought fill you with terror? The pain of this transition will be masked with fantasies and drugs. Isn't that a nice way to pull the plug? The people will gladly vote for such an ending. After all, isn't it the way we're inevitably tending? Those who remain will embrace their slavery and obliterate any vestige of a thing called bravery.
Like I said about the phones, like the email, it's slavery. It's just another form.
Yeah.
It's just another form. That's it. It's just another form. It's not brutal. It's not barbaric like what we used to. But it's in a way, it's sort of like a mind control in a way. Because if you keep doing it, you get conditioned. And once you get conditioned, because it will never stop. I mean, dealing with just perfect example, dealing with these emails. As long as I have a phone, I'll never be able to stop that, unless I spend a whole day trying to get going to the CEOs and getting everything erased, or just dropping my email account altogether.
If you have a block sender option, that might be of some help to you.
Yeah, but it seems like they always find a way to get through.
Yeah, they'll again.
It's like
these companies.
It's like locusts. It's like the cold below zero air. It's like 50 below. It'll find its way through the windows. It will. It always does. It's just. I mean, and it's all and they're so persistent about it that after a while you just throw your hands up, and that's I think what. I'm not saying it's not they who. It's you don't even know what to say. Who is it? It's not one being.
It's an agent of obliteration.
Agent of obliteration.
Yes.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Something I do want to mention, and this is on the sports side with AI. Artificial intelligence has really creeped its way into sports. You see it in the MLB, where they're implementing, I believe in the minor leagues, they're implementing empireless games where a robot would call balls and strikes. They're implementing this, I don't think for the whole season, but they are starting to test it. In the minor leagues, and eventually I think that will creep its way into the majors eventually.
Wow, that's creepy.
Yeah, that's something that they're testing.
That's creepy, Joe.
In NASCAR, the way just the safety has improved, and that's because of a lot of electronic devices and AI and a lot of electronics that are making the cars better nowadays. And this is really really popped up in the past 10 years, 10, 15 years.
Yeah, it's much bigger phenomenon than many people realize. They
Well,
look at it with a certain innocence still. They haven't lost that innocence in many cases.
no, right. And while Joey's talking about the umpires there, nothing beats going to a game and hearing, "You're out!"
Yeah.
You know, or
Yeah.
strike, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just the voice of the umpire just gives you that excitement of the game. Everyone likes hearing the, like, ball one or strike three, you're out of here, you know?
Yeah.
And that's the attitude of the baseball. But now, once you sterilize it, it takes that aspect of the game away, takes that excitement away. Because it's not just the game, it's just the sounds, the smells, the feels of a baseball game is what drives you there, which has been exciting for Americans for almost 150 years. But now you just, what's the umpire going to sound like? Is this going to be some digital voice, or are they going to make it sound like a real umpire? But it's still...
Well, I think that's what they'll try to do.
Yeah, but that's only make it worse. That's more insulting intelligence than anything, in my opinion.
Yeah.
No, just wow, we could talk all day on this one.
And something I also want to mention as well. I was talking about Formula One earlier. I was watching a little bit of the pregame, the pre-race coverage. The race started at 7 a.m. this morning. It's ongoing right now, but I was watching a little bit of the pre-race of the Formula One race from Azerbaijan this morning, and they had a segment where they were talking about the pit crews and how they use computers and technology to help them on their pit stops, and they're showing a whole row of computers that these pit crews were using and these engineers were using. So F1 has really implemented technology in a huge way.
Right, but like what we're talking about the intrusiveness of computers, emails, whatnot. But when it comes to the safety side, it is an advantage.
It is a huge
It
advantage.
is
and a huge
because
improvement.
Dale Earnhardt died. All these people who died in NASCAR. It's tragic.
Yeah, and how far we've gone
Right.
with motorsports in the past 20
Right,
years
right.
since
But,
that
I mean,
incident
you
is
get
extraordinary.
right, but you gotta figure. We're at a crossroads now. You gotta figure out what's good and what's
Exactly.
and what's, because sometimes you can't marry those two together, because what happens is if you get so frustrated from it, then you got to go back to driving a 1974 Corvair or a 1974 Buick Riviera. You're not going to want nothing. And I know people like that. They just said, I'm done with all this, but, and they bought a vehicle that doesn't have like computers in it, nothing. And I know a couple people like that. They don't want nothing to do with computers, and they're driving old vehicles, and they don't care if they have to put money into it for the rest of their lives. They just want, and it's just, I guess, and this is years ago. This is 5-6 years ago.
Yeah.
These people that I know.
They've been traumatized by
Right.
social phenomena they don't fully understand.
Right, and these two individuals that I know, who friends and acquaintances of some I know, it was 5-6 years ago they got pushed over the edge. And, now look at now, it's just only exasperated like tenfold, hundredfold, in my opinion.
Yeah, technology has gone really from 2017 to now. It has advanced.
Right. All right, that sounds good. Hey Ed, what's the program today for?
Well, we're in the midst of a 4-part series on ballet.
Okay.
Tremendous amount of ballet music written for the world of classical music, and couldn't put it all in 1 week, so it's spread out over 4 weeks. So I think we're on week 3.
I believe so.
As of now, which is sort of a potpourri. I think that's what the title is. And it's a little this, a little that. All ballet music, however.
Yeah, Ed, when you put your programs together, do you have a certain rhyme or reason? I don't really want to phrase it that way, but no other way to say it. But is there a certain avenue?
Formula?
Formula avenue you want to take as far as do you have something in your mind as far as does the seasons kind of? I mean, I know Christmas and Easter, obviously you got to play something for that season, but is there some sort of roadmap or avenue through the seasons that you take, or is it just something you just, when you put it together, you just say, all right, I just want to do this? What's your formula of putting it?
The guiding principle is that there is a movement in the consciousness of the listener. If you can get the consciousness of the listener to move and to become open to growth, then you're doing your job. If you put unrelated things together, it's very disjointed.
Right.
So I try to have something. It may be 1 week. It might be focus on a particular performing artist. And like a lot of the titles will be the artistry of, and there'll be a particular performing artist. And sometimes it'll be done by nationality. 1 week will be all Austrian music. The next week will be all American music, and so forth. So I don't only have an hour per program, so I don't take the time to go into all these subtle nuances. But in putting the programs together, these things are almost always given weight.
All right, it is 7:44. We're gonna take another commercial break. Before we do that, Ed, you want to stick around a couple more minutes, or do you want to let us go and just maybe just before you go, if you can't stick around, just tell us about again the program for today and what we might expect.
Yeah, I can stay if you'd like, and if you have other things you'd like to move on to.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with that. So.
I say yeah.
Yeah, all right. So
That's good.
Okay, so
play the commercial. Let's get back to Ed.
yeah, so we'll be right back. When we come back, I have my Today in Histories that I will quickly mention.
Oh yeah, maybe we can get Ed's
as well, and
on.
we can get Ed's opinions on them as well.
Because I think, in my opinion, anybody who deals with classical music knows a lot about history, because it's hand in hand. I mean, it's just the history about all these players, and I think it all comes into play. In my opinion,
History does play an important role.
I'll be bold.
Music.
I'll be bold to say this, that you probably know a lot about history, Ed, in my opinion.
It's always been a big interest of mine, and of course, Emmanuel, who you've gotten to know a little bit, his goal is to be a history teacher.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's a passion. I mean, okay, Joey, take a commercial, buddy.
All right, it is 7:46. We're gonna take a quick commercial. You're listening to WVBF. I'm Joey Driscoll, joined by Dawn. This is Middleboro in Review, and we will be right back.
How's the static treating you there, Ed?
It's off and on, but overall there's more static this week than we usually get.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
I think we got gremlins in the phone lines.
Maybe. I don't really hear it, but I'm sure
The coffee's delicious
might
this
be.
morning.
a little bit of an issue, and we'll get that looked
Joey's
at.
got his SpongeBob SquarePants shorts on there.
Yeah, his SpongeBob SquarePants. Iconic
That's
kids
funny.
program.
It's funny because that's what you want. It's like me wearing a Flintstones pair of shorts.
Yeah,
because
I
that's
mean,
what I grew up with.
That's one of the shows I grew up with is SpongeBob, and just
It just goes.
it was just so good back in the day. And I still see the old episodes on the television all the time, and they're kind of just as good watching them now as they were when I was first watching them, and that was really great. And the show's really great. I haven't really watched it recently, but yeah, every time I do watch it, it does bring back memories. So, let's see, we have 3 Today in Histories.
What's that noise? Oh, that.
Yeah.
The name of that song was by Cliff Richard's "Devil Woman."
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know that one actually.
Well, there's also another. There's 4 of them. There's "Witchy Woman" by the Eagles. There's
Very good.
right. There's "Season of the Witch" by Dr. John. This song, Cliff Richard, "Devil Woman," and then the other one, "Spooky."
Yeah.
I'm not sure who does that song.
Yeah. So I'm on a Genesis kick this past couple of days. Genesis is fantastic. Honestly, in my opinion, they're one of the good bands of the '80s.
Atlanta Rhythm Session, "Spooky."
Ah,
That's who does that song.
okay. I think I
Yep.
think I've heard of that.
Yep.
Then.
No, actually, my friend Mark's band, they used to do that with that guy Bob. Remember Bob? You remember Bob? His band from the Funnel. Connolly's Funnel there.
I'm not 100%.
We almost done with the ads over.
Yeah. About 45 seconds, we're back.
Atlanta Rhythm Section. All set?
Yeah. Mic. Toes back up.
I gotta. Hey.
What? Yeah, because they got the headphones back on. There you go.
All right.
All right.
Bumper.
Yeah. Got the bumper playing now. All right, we got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. And we are back here on Middleboro in review. I'm Joey Driscoll. I am joined, as always, by Don. Oh, sorry, I turned your headphones down, Don.
You usually shut my mic off. Now it's my headphones. Talk about power. You got all the power back there.
Unfortunately, I turned your headphones down for a second.
You could stop the mouth of the South anytime you want, I guess, right?
We're also joined by Ed Sutka as well. We are going to talk in the final about 9 minutes of the show about our today in histories and getting Ed's opinion on some of these as well. So let's start with our first one, 1789, on the balcony of Federal Hall on Wall Street in New York City. George Washington takes the oath of office to become the first president of the United States. Quickly, Don, quick thoughts about this historic event, the first oath of office being took.
In April of all times, right?
Yes?
Yeah, that's amazing. That's just the beginning of a foundation. It's the beginning of a bold experiment the world's never seen.
Yes, and Ed?
Well, there's many interesting things about Washington that many people don't realize. he was not a member of a political party. There were no political parties at the time he was president. And when he gave his farewell address before he left office, he gave, within that address, about, I believe it was 5 paragraphs, a very stern warning to the public not to get involved in political parties, that no good would come of it. He also advised the populace to avoid foreign entanglements. So I would say Washington was wise in a way that not many people fully realize. But he also had great integrity. He was respected as a person, whether or not people agreed with all his policies. And that's a high compliment to pay to any office holder.
All right, our second today in history. 1803, Louisiana Purchase. The United States purchases the Louisiana Territory from France for $15 million, more than doubling the size of the young nation. Don, your quick thoughts about the Louisiana Purchase?
You just opened up the transportation sector for the United States. When that happened, it made the United States a superpower for the rest of existence, just because of the Mississippi River, just because of the navigable waterways that would ensure this country and goods and services, because that was huge. That was one of the best things we could have ever done, just from a transportation perspective.
And Ed?
Well, it's interesting because Thomas Jefferson was the president who made the Louisiana Purchase, and he was not sure that it was constitutional to do so. But it was such a good bargain. It was a tremendous bargain. It was practically like paying pennies in today's money. And of course, history has proven pretty much what Don was talking about, that it made a tremendous, it thrust the United States into a position of superpower overnight.
Our final today in history, 1975, April 30th, the fall of Saigon. Communist forces gain control of Saigon. The Vietnam War formally ends with the unconditional surrender of South Vietnamese President Duong Vang Mian. Don.
I remember seeing those footages on TV. I don't remember it live as much because I was young. But, over the years, seeing that evacuation of the helicopters off the embassy, it's like one of the most heartbreaking things, because people are just throwing babies over the fence. It's just humanity at its breakdown. It's like one of those things when it comes to an end, it really comes to an end, and you cannot plan for that. And it was just the footage, and in a way, it was end of the war, but it's just like how recent events too, other wars we've had. It was heartbreaking.
And Ed, your quick thoughts.
Many people had their belief system shattered by the whole Vietnam War. One of those belief systems was that the United States was invincible, and we certainly. We were not defeated outrightly, but certainly if you had to choose which side came out of it better, it would be the North Vietnamese. There's no escaping that, even though we were not totally defeated, but we were unable to defeat them.
All right, so our birthdays for today. 1960, Carrie Haley, American academic and politician, the 70th Lieutenant Governor of Massachusetts. 1961, Isaiah Thomas, the father of Isaiah Thomas Jr., who went on to be a Celtic, very good Boston Celtic. Isaiah Thomas was an American basketball player, coach, and sportscaster. And finally, 1963, Michael Waltrip, American race car driver and sportscaster Michael Waltrip, one of the best of his era when he was in there in NASCAR, and he does a really good job every weekend when they're doing the broadcast as well. He does a really great job doing those. Don, quick thoughts about those birthdays.
Carrie Haley.
Carrie Haley, yeah.
That was Baker's lieutenant governor.
I'm not 100% sure. I had to look that up.
Yeah,
So let me look that up right now.
Yeah. That was the last lieutenant governor, because now Kim Driscoll's the lieutenant governor now with.
Yes, so I'm gonna give that a look.
Oh, you in the weeds over there, kid?
Well, I gotta give that a look.
All right.
I had to look.
You didn't know there was a test involved, huh?
Lieutenant Governor under Mitt Romney.
Oh, Mitt Romney. Oh, okay.
Yeah, Lieutenant Governor under.
Oh,
Mitt
no, that was Karen Polito, who was okay. Never mind. All
Yes.
right, I should know my lieutenant governors. I got to brush up on my lieutenant governors in Massachusetts.
And
Isaiah Thomas, he's awesome.
yes,
And who was the third one?
Michael Waltrip.
Who's he again?
The famous one of the famous Waltrip brothers. The other one being Darrell Waltrip. Very very popular driver.
Oh, okay. I'm not.
And our passings real quick as well. 1983, Muddy Waters, American singer, songwriter, guitarist, and band leader. 2015, Ben E. King, American singer, songwriter, and producer. And 2019, Peter Mayhew, English American actor. And Ed, what are your quick thoughts about the birthdays and the passings that we just mentioned?
Well, I think sometimes the birthdays are overemphasized. I'm going to take a contrarian point of view, and say we, who celebrate ourselves basically when we have a birthday. It's a little bit overdone, and maybe we should take a more humble stance. But just to be contrarian, I'm going to leave it with that.
You're talking about Muddy Waters, 1983, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, Muddy Waters, I wasn't really into him growing up, but I had a friend of mine, Rick, turned me on to the album 1977. It's Hard, and I fell in love with the song called "Cross-Eyed Cat." He's unbelievable. Anybody who knows Muddy Waters knows that song. It starts out with the harmonica. It's just great. It's called Cross-Eyed Cat, and like I said, I don't know the whole discography of Muddy Waters. I know just a few songs. Mannish Boy, obviously, that's the popular one. But Cross-Eyed Cat was really good because it was almost technical in a way for a blues guy.
Yeah.
So that's what I liked. I really like Cross-Eyed Cat by Muddy Waters. That's just a fond memory song.
All right, I want to thank Ed Suka for calling in today.
Yeah,
thank
it was
you so
great
much,
talking to Ed, like always. And just stay on the line real quick. Talk real quick off the
we'll talk really quick off the air, Ed.
Okay. Yeah.
And we're gonna say goodbye, and stay tuned for Bread of Life with Pastor Ortez Vancross. Always a great message he brings every week. Rosary coming up after that. Then Medicare Moment with Martha after that as well. So stay tuned here on WVBF. I'm Joey Driscoll, and we will be back with another edition of Middleboro Review next Sunday. We'll be into the month of May.
And we got Danny Harmon calling.
Yeah, we got Danny Harmon calling in next Sunday, so stay tuned for that. We will be back next week. Bye-bye, everybody. There we go. Turn that down. Alright, go right to the ID because we're a minute behind and get to the news.
Great poem, Ed.
Thanks. We have a good thing going.
Yeah, that was good. That was kind of. It's funny how we talk about one thing and it segues into another, and then it just seems like we could have talked about that issue for hours and hours because there's nothing. There's so many.